I love that you're wearing your Here Comes a Winner shirt.
You like that?
I feel like you're blessing this episode,
Yeah.
blessing our lives. I don't know why you don't wear that shirt more often.
You know, uh, it's kind of like a lot of my shirts. They just get buried in the closet, and you stop thinking about them for long amounts of time.
Yeah.
And then one day you're like, "What haven't I worn on the podcast yet?" You pull out this fucking thing.
And it's like, why haven't you been using me? Because I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And you did that yourself. You printed that on the shirt yourself, didn't you?
Yeah. I went into what do they call it? Joanne Fabric.
Uh-huh.
And they had these shirts. They were $3. Fucking like Hanes t-shirts, every fucking color, for $3. And then they have these iron-on letters.
And why'd you do Here Comes a Winner?
Because on the I did a whole bunch of shirts. I did a lot of them. This is just one of the ones that I still somehow have. But
It survived.
yeah, on the reason I did it is because when I bought the iron-on letters on the package, there's like a bunch of examples of like what you could put on there, and this is one of them.
Are you
It
serious?
said, "Here comes a winner."
Here Comes a Winner.
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
Yeah,
It works.
I don't
I'm
know.
surprised we don't see them more often.
What shirts that say "Here comes a winner"?
Yeah.
Maybe this was a popular saying at some point. I don't even know why it was used as the example, but as a fucking sarcastic asshole 19-year-old who was making his own t-shirts, I thought it was a really funny idea, and I used to wear it to work.
I think you're still that teenager, but I think unfortunately I've had to make you
A loser?
no, you kind of play down your sarcasm. Cuz
Yeah.
there's something that's really
Yeah.
shifted in our energy.
Uh-huh.
Or you at least every time you say you're like, "Oh, I don't do that anymore cuz Cass doesn't get
Yeah.
it."
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is that what you're saying? Like, you don't get it? I know it doesn't work. I know it does.
I mean, I get
It
it.
does
I get
nothing
sarcasm.
for you. It does nothing for you, though. Like, it doesn't get you laughing. It doesn't, like, make you see the point. It doesn't, like, it's dead language. And I realized that 6 months after being with you. I'm like, I gotta fucking step my communication up a notch. Because sarcasm was a crutch for me.
Yeah,
That's
'cause I guess
just
it
being
is.
too cool for school.
Yeah.
That's saying, like, I'm not ever really being sincere. I always just have my little spin of my little judgment, and I'm going to let you know what it is, just to set the record straight.
The thing is, I'm not like that fast or that witty, so I feel like I'm gonna lose in a game of sarcastic banter, so I don't even play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, cool, that's really cool you just said that thing, but like, I'm not gonna come back at you.
Yeah, yeah. I would have loved to see how you did in that improv class that you did.
Oh, see, but the thing is, I can make up stories, like I can make things up,
Yeah. Yeah.
but maybe it's not with a sarcastic tone.
Yeah,
I got some
don't-
good laughs at our performance at the improv. Like I was like, Sean should have been here
Why wasn't I? Why didn't you?
because I think we both knew it was embarrassing for both of us. I think we both are just at this stage that it was something I was doing, and it would just be better off if you didn't.
I just completely stayed out of it.
It's like how we have been together 10 years, and there's certain things that we don't watch each other do in the bathroom. It's like there's a certain privacy, decorum,
Yeah.
sustaining of the illusion. And I think maybe you seen me flub at moments in front of people as a improv comedian might have been just too much for either one of us to handle.
It would have been too much for your heart to bear.
But I did get some good laughs, and when I got those great laughs, I was like, man, Sean would be proud of this moment.
Yeah. I just remember coming to, like, the after party or whatever the fuck it was. And, like, all these dudes that probably had crushes on you the whole time are all of a sudden like, oh.
No, I don't think it was like that.
Of course you don't think it was like that because you don't see the world like that. I felt it was like that. It was definitely like that, you know?
No, because in your improv, man, they have you like reenact in situations. And I remember I just like took one of our fights and I just like started like screaming dramatically about it, and I used that as like the grist
Oh, yeah?
for my performance.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the fight about?
Oh, I can't even remember at this point, but I just remember like it had like fury, because most of the stuff we fight about is like not really super significant.
Yeah, so it's hard to get the fury going.
But it does, but yeah, now. But in the moment, I was like, It's a beautiful
Furious.
joint. I was furious.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I was never furious at you. But you know how you can tap into that version of you that is furious? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, okay. You can access this like range of emotions. That's what actors do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're accessing like, I think they're getting like some sort of possession that happens. Like, or where they tap into a being. Acting is one of those things that I would like to know more about. You know, I think it's one of those skills we should all,
Yeah.
like it's like home ec or cooking, where they don't actually teach cooking in school anymore, but they should, and they should also teach acting.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I feel like there's some people that just are so natural. They're just like they're made for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so good they don't even need any formal training or anything like that. And there's people that can really really hone in and get good at their craft. Like Brad Pitt's a fucking great actor. He's really good. Like I know he's like the most obvious actor,
He
but
is
like
really good though.
name something where he wasn't amazing in it. Not even like just like everything he's done,
Yeah.
he's like ridiculously good. And when you watch those movies again and you're not like so taken aback by his good looks, like you can see the little things he's doing in scenes. You're like, this dude is brilliant. He's a character actor that is trapped in like the most beautiful man in the world's body.
Yeah.
Like he's really a character actor.
You know, it would be a really good reality show.
What?
Like
Me and Brad Pitt hanging out.
Yeah.
Just fucking smoking fat ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I would love that. But take 10 people and have them trained who can't act. Like they do a submission video and they're just horrible. And then have them like over the course of 10 weeks trained by like the best actors in the world, the best acting teachers in the world, and then see how they improve and see what lessons they get.
Well, they have to make a movie together.
They have to make a movie together.
Yeah.
Oh, after.
Yeah, that's part of the reality show.
Yeah.
Like it builds up to the season finale where you see how they came off on camera.
Where it's like, where they're having an awakening of this heart, body, mind, and soul. Like it's a full, I feel like in order to be a really good actor, what the really good acting coaches tell you is that like you want to tap into a truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to transmute a truth, a genuine state of being, even if it might be like a foreign experience to you, because you can tap into like this Indra's net, the web of connection we all have.
Mm.
And so, I don't know. I think that's a really good concept,
I
actually.
think it'd be fun. If that show existed, I would watch that shit with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd fucking try out.
Yeah, you would be perfect.
Because I can't act for shit.
You would be perfect.
But I would
for
love
that
to
show.
be good at it.
Because it's like you look good on camera and you're like you're really funny, and you're smart and you're with it. But like for some reason, there's this other cast that's just like when okay, it's time. You're like an empty vessel. Like it's just like something happens.
I'm a deer in headlights.
Yeah, remember that happened? We always talk about this, but remember it happened with you, like with darts.
Oh, yeah. I
It
got
was
the yips.
ridiculous. You were such a natural.
I'm a victim of the yips.
You were such a natural. You were the best player on our team, unexpectedly. Halfway through the season, we're looking at the standings, and we're like, so Cass is the best player on our team of all men.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cass comes in here, all men who've been playing darts their whole life. You come in and you're like, you're the best player on our team. And it's like
At a hot
almost
second.
like us pointing it out just turned the tide. Empty vessel just showed up for the rest of the season, and to the point where you took yourself out. You're like, don't even play me. I can't.
See, I think this is two different things, because I think what happens when that happens is that I'm like, I've accomplished what I've come here to do.
Yeah.
Like I did it. I'm at the top of the mountain, you know? Like I'm,
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying so hard to show up and throw the darts good. And then you get in your head that you're like, I'm good. And then you have to stay being good.
You have to find new ways to keep the motivation going. We
And
talk about this with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He knew he was the best. The whole league and the whole world acknowledged it. And he kept doing it for like 10 more years because he would use everything and anything. You just said something to me? Did you? You didn't say it? You didn't say it? Okay, I believe you did. You did say it, didn't you? You fucking said something. I'm going to fucking slice and dice you now. You know,
Yeah.
he would make shit up. He'd make stories about people, do things to like just like keep himself motivated because he had already reached.
His characters in the game were very dramatic. Like he did everything to like make the story even more crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially gambling. I mean, think about gambling. Like that's one of his favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And so if you think about that, like the rush you get and the adrenaline you get from putting it all on the line or
Mm-hmm.
putting a significant amount on the line or from taking someone else's money,
Yeah.
because I think that's what he really got off on,
Oh yeah.
like beating someone.
And actually taking their money.
Yeah.
The dude has more money than he could ever spend in 100 lifetimes.
Nobody's like, haha, I have your money
He's
in
like,
my
I'm
pocket.
taking your fucking $400. I got your money in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
And it keeps
His
me
security guards
reaching.
and shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, you gotta find reasons to be really good. It's funny because for me, it's you. Like if I'm sucking at something, this happened the other day when I was rolling this fucking joint. You were like I was ready to give up. I was like, this thing's falling apart. This is too hard to do. Like I don't think I can roll a joint this big. And you were like, Sean, you're at the dart line right now. It's time to fucking hit a bullseye. Because that's when I come to life. That's when I like can really do my magic.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm standing up here. I'm at the dart line. Everyone's watching. My opponent's nervous.
The whole game is on you.
The whole game's on me. That's when I'm like, I got it. And
Yeah.
I twisted this fucker up. Just from you reminding me of that state of mind that I get into when I'm up at the dart line and I have to win the game.
Yeah, like I'm like, you're good under pressure, but I think if you had reminded me, like, hey,
It's the
Cass,
opposite. It's the opposite.
remember I'd just be like,
Yeah. Yeah. A good amount of the players on our dart team were like that too.
yeah. I mean, that's the
It's
reason
like we had to like make sure like, oh no, it's not that big of a deal. Just stay calm.
If you're calm, you can dominate in darts. Like if you don't give a fuck,
That's the key.
'cause
That's
it's
why
not that hard. It's really not.
No, it's not that hard at all. It's really just trying to do the same thing every time
And like
just,
release.
and just getting your release point right. It sounds so crazy that we even play darts or talk about it, but it's fun. And that
it's a
season,
metaphor.
that season that I took acid every week, I ended up with a plaque that's still up in the Peekskill Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And all these motherfuckers in the league that hate me, fucking because I was beating them on acid, not drinking, have to fucking go in there and look at that plaque every time they go to pull their darts out of the board.
Well,
And that's what keeps me going.
yeah. Well, I will say that you were a really good player before you started doing acid, but I think
I was better. Like back in my early 20s when I was drinking and fucking just going up to the bar every day and playing darts. Yeah, I was better.
Yeah, remember we got to this point where I was like, Sean, you're sucking. Like, if you keep sucking, you're not allowed to smoke weed before our dart games.
Yeah.
Because I was so upset. Because I was like, I know you're better than this.
Yeah.
And I think that your lack of zest and competition that, like, maybe smoking
That's all it is.
does.
I don't care about, not only do I not care about beating and humiliating someone when I'm on this, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I'll go out and I'll smoke a joint and I'll come back in there and I'm like, I don't want to. Like this is this guy's whole life. Like he's so psyched about this. This guy probably works fucking 75 hours a week. Like who am I, some scrub, to come just like beat this guy and humiliate him in front of his wife?
His wife.
In front of your wife. I'll fucking humiliate you in front of your wife.
Yeah, but you like to wear the black hat. You don't even care.
Hell yeah. Sometimes in life, it's okay to embrace that. It's to embrace that side of you, especially when you see other fucking people perceiving you like that.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, oh, cool. That's who you think I am? I guess I will be there with you. I'll go there.
Yeah.
You know when someone thinks you're the big bad wolf and you're like, no, I'm not.
You haven't even
and
seen
you blow
it.
their house down.
Yeah.
As you're fucking defending that you're not that.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm the big bad wolf in your life. What do you want to do?
Yeah. When you're someone else's big bad wolf, it's best to mind your own business. Because the more you get in someone else's business who thinks you're the big bad wolf, the bigger of a wolf you be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
If they see you as a wolf, there's no like tiptoeing into their life to try to soften your image or whatever. They're suspicious of you. Stay away. Just fucking stay away from it, you know?
At least that's our prescription.
Yeah. I only have a few people in my life that I think of as like former friends. Like we're legitimately not friends anymore. Like there's no love loss. It's just like, whoa. And I'm the big bad wolf to them. And I was when they decided to not be friends with me anymore. And it's like, man, I tortured myself. With one of those relationships in particular, I really tortured myself. Like, I am not this fucking person. And my whole process of going about trying to resolve and correct that in her world just made it way worse. Just the worst mess you could possibly imagine. You know? So
You don't want to make messes.
once I embraced it, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I am the big bad wolf. Me and you.
Well, because like Michael Jordan needs someone to be like, yo, like make a scene after they shot a 3-pointer, and Mike is like, fuck you, and I'm going to get you back for humiliating me or whatever.
Yeah.
Some people like need that. So like they need you to be like, you can't control how everyone feels about you.
No.
And it's not really your business. Grace and Mycelium, I think, turned me onto this. Like, it's not your business what people think about you.
No.
And I totally agree with that.
No.
You know, how people use you, or, you know.
You're saying someone from the Discord taught you that, as opposed to me shouting it at you every fucking day? Who cares what anyone fucking thinks? Who cares what they think of you?
Well, no, he just said it in a way. He has a good way of condensing into a thought.
Yeah.
No, I remember, you know, you have that friend who stirs up shit and is like, I mean, I don't really have this friend, but I've had these friends where someone will like go to your other friend and be like, this person said this about you or this whatever. And it's like, you're the bad guy, not the person who said something in private behind their back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, this whole thing is like talking behind someone's back is bad. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. But like sometimes people just like use gossip and relationship as a way of relating and getting closer.
Yeah, it's okay.
And it's okay. And I expect people to use me. And I'm going to use them sometimes and be like, oh, what do you think's going on with them? You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just whatever. But then there's been times that I've had lessons, not a little removed from me, where people are like, he told me that this person said this about me. And I'm like, well, he's an asshole because you never should have known what that person said about you.
Yeah, you had like a cute little saying for that the other day. A situation like that happened. You know, where somebody was conveying something to their friend that someone else had said that was going to hurt them. It was going to hurt the friend. And it's like, if this is going to hurt them, then maybe you're the asshole instead of the person you're fucking snitching on. Consider that shit. Mm-hmm. You know?
You just want to make people feel good. So if you're going to say something to someone that's going to make them feel bad, but get them on your side against someone else, I'm like, I don't know who you should trust in that situation then.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Yeah. Don't take any of it too fucking seriously.
Yeah, man.
But, you know, people are going to talk shit, and it used to be something that really fucking disturbed me is when I found out someone had been talking shit about me or this or that, or just even that I would be brought up without me being there. Just the idea that I'm there, but I'm not.
Because you want to control it. You want to be like, my name is. I've heard you say this so many times. My name is not to come out of your mouth.
I've only said that to one person.
I know.
I had to say it to this fucking crazy stalker cinematographer guy that we had in our life, and he was costing us business. And I fucking called him up and I was like, my name's not to come out of your mouth. If I find out it does, it's gonna be bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah. It's going to be real bad. I will put on the black hat. What? It used to drive me crazy. The other day, I don't know, we were on a hike with someone, and we were just being real with each other. And he's like, you know, an ambassador from our friends back home was like, you guys come up. People talk shit. People try to fucking, you know, like of course you guys come up in conversation. Like, we're probably the easiest people to gossip about. Like, we have girlfriends and weird situations and space camp, and like we're taking psychedelics. We're like going towards spirituality. We're fucking with magic. Like, we're just like not, you know. It's easy to fucking judge us. And this guy tells us, you guys come up and people judge you. And it fucking really was hurting my heart, but I was just holding space because I'm like, hopefully this has a happy ending. Like, I don't even know why you're telling me this right now. Like, you know what I mean? Remember that? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
And then he was like, but he's like, you know what? it always comes back around to, and he brings it there. This dude, he's like one of our dear friends. He said, anytime this comes up, I just let people play out all their little stuff. And then I say, but aren't they happier than all of us? And he goes, everyone agrees. So
Well, yeah.
I'm like, all right, talk shit.
It's whoever your master is, but I think the reason I usually, because I can just go to the reason I talk shit about people is usually because I want to, like, there's something about them that I don't want to see in myself, or I don't want to do, or I don't, like, I'm, like, resistance to. There's, like, when you cast a judgment, it's because you, like, want to separate yourself from it, because you're like, there's a moat between me and that thing, or that way of being, and I'm not like that, you know?
Yeah.
But like, of course, like we're all so connected. So it's like all the funny mirrors and reflections of
Yeah.
seeing in someone else something that maybe you judge most harshly about yourself.
That's what it always is. That's
yeah,
what it
you wouldn't
always
think
is.
it is, but it's like if you're judging someone who's like totally different than you, it's maybe because you have a self-conscious aboutness about how they're going about their life, or if they're better at whatever it is you want to be better at, or you know, not even caring about the thing that you want to be good at, and you judge yourself for caring about the thing that you care about.
Yeah, and I can only speak from the judgment that I've dished on to people and what they've dished on to me, and it's usually like some sort of jealousy is wrapped up in there and all that type of stuff, and it comes from connectedness, and it comes from just this constant culture of comparing. But usually, what it boils down to is like, oh, something I'm doing is triggering you. I'm free, man. I'm just doing whatever I want. What have you deprived yourself of that my lifestyle's triggering you? Because it ain't hurting anyone, as far as I know. It's just, what have you deprived yourself of?
Well, that's so funny because I think of the things in my life that can be triggering, you know, and
like,
it's as if someone's like doing more hard drugs than I do, even.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then the other day you were like, don't judge them. And I was like, I'm judging them because I don't want to do that. Like, I have to maintain this story, you know, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not at risk of doing harder drugs, but you know what I mean? It is one of those moments where you're like,
You get scared.
I feel like I was like, okay, I can acknowledge this as judging, but I can also just understand it as like my body's way of trying to protect myself.
Yeah, that's all.
You're telling a bad story about something I don't understand because I don't want to understand it or whatever it is.
Because you don't want to understand it.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that lesson. You're not using the jealousy and the the animus that's being produced for your soul's evolution for that reason. Mm-hmm. You're just like really taking it to heart instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
It's all like it's crazy. Like when it's not like we talk about this or like this type of thing a lot, but it's funny when you like zoom in on these like little micro interactions, like how much is actually going on in any given moment.
Yeah.
The amount of energy that's being exchanged, the amount of communication that's going on, even with someone that's bad at communicating, because they're communicating no matter what.
Yeah, totally.
You get around someone that's fucking tight as hell, and they're not making sense to you, and nothing's adding up, and it's just like you're just like you feel their confusion fog. They're communicating. They're communicating. Everyone is always communicating exactly where they're at, and everyone's always communicating exactly what they need.
Yeah, and when you resist the awkwardness of that situation, you make it worse.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't want to be part of this awkward way of relating.
No way. Like we almost do the opposite. I feel like our whole life is like a fucking just freaks.
Freaks show.
It's a freak show.
But you wouldn't
think it seems like
it.
when people are doing great, we don't see them as much. I had to point this out to you the other day. It's like because there's a lot. It's a lot. It's like everyone. It seems like everyone we know is going through it, and then I'm like, hold on, let's look for the pattern here. We only want to be around people going through it.
Yeah.
When people aren't going through it, for some reason they don't come around us as much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were saying this last night about how we invite the confusion. We not only invite the confusion, we facilitate it, and we do the substances that could really make you confused about what your story is here, or why you're here, or what you're doing.
Substances that strip away your story.
Oh,
your story,
God.
your ego is your story.
And so I'm like, I'm confused, but we're all confused. But like that's the point. Like it's like basking in the confusion of like once you can bask in that. This is what I always say. I'm like my fucking doors of perception have been blown open so many times that like it takes a lot to get a rise out of me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like searching for that rise where I get scared.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a minute, but like, and then I think of something we have coming up, and I'm like, oh, that seems a little scary. It might get a rise out of me. And there's part of me that's like genuinely scared, but part of me that's also like, all right, like enjoy it, be present for it, and allow the confusion to come and
embrace it.
Yeah. And honor it. Like we honor the magic, we honor the confusion.
Yeah. I think it's a beautiful place to be in if you realize that you're confused.
Oh, because when you realize you're confused, you let everyone else be confused, and you're like, this is exactly where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be confused. I don't have to fix anything.
Yeah.
I don't have to change anything. I don't have to do anything. Like,
I don't have to figure it out.
I don't have to figure it out. And that's another thing that I realize. I'm like, I'm not smart enough that even if I wanted to figure out, I could.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a reality of your life that at some point you're going to realize, like, you're either smart enough to understand the meaning of the universe in mathematical terms or not. And you might have to rely on just, like, feelings and guts and intuition and trust.
I trust those things more than mathematics and science and, other people's stories about what's going on here.
Yeah.
I know that we're special. We're special, but we're monkeys.
Yeah, humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have to figure it out. It's like really not incumbent on us to figure out what's going on here. It's a mystery, and it's fun to get little clues as what we consider what's going on, but really what's going on is you. Figuring out who you are is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that by expanding your compassion, by noticing your confusion. When you see it in someone else, you have compassion for them, and noticing your anger. And when you see it in someone else, you have that compassion. You notice your jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
We all got it. And people that are acting like they're past anything, and that they have something to offer because they've gotten over something, get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always play the like I'm past jealousy game, but it's not true. Like I'm not past it because I just it takes a lot for it to be awoken.
Yeah,
and maybe it's like different, but I have the capacity to have jealousy, of course.
Yeah.
But I've like had to do so much work with it that it doesn't really. I think I have a higher threshold.
Yeah, it's funny because like when people like feel comfortable enough around us, which anyone should, to like ask us questions about like how like geez, how do you guys deal with like taking on other partners? How do you guys do that whole dance and everything? It's always coming from their place of insecurity about them doing that, and their jealousy, which would immediately be triggered by a third entity in their relationship. And you and I got past that part so long ago. Not saying that the jealousy is not there. It's just it's not that surface level thing that you think it is.
I think we went in and through it, and the way I can think of it is like we've pressure tested our relationship. That I'm like, when we went skydiving together, and you were like, "Yo, save your worry for like when we're jumping out of the plane. Like we're just on the way up."
It's one of those. Yeah,
it's like
I could see it in you. You were like, you got like those kind of like those shivers that don't have anything to do with the temperature.
Oh, yeah.
Those are scary. I get them. When you're overwhelmed with worry.
Yeah.
To where you're like, I can't, like, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I've had that a million times. I used to get that when I was traveling. I used to get that feeling like before I had to do a big commercial shoot.
Your body's like jumping out of your skin.
Yeah.
Like, can't move as fast as you.
Why? Like, your body's like, why are you about to do this? And the part of the way I got over it was by going skydiving, because this was my fucking worst nightmare.
Yeah.
The first time I did it, I wasn't with you. And so I'm with some people that I was working with down in New Zealand. And they thought I was cool, and I wanted them to think I was cool. So I was cool.
And you went skydiving.
Yeah, but the lesson I learned is because, like, you're going up, and in New Zealand, you can get out at 15,000 feet. They won't let you do that here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the fucking difference? 12,000 or 15,000 feet. And one person out of our group chose the 12,000 package. So we go up and we get to 12,000 feet, and then we let one person out, and they swung that door open, and I caught the reality of what we were trying to do, and that's when I had to for those for those extra 300 feet that we were going, I really had to channel my coolest self.
Yeah.
And I was able to bring that lesson back to you. It didn't really apply, I didn't think, to my life in general until we went skydiving. And then I was fucking cool as a cucumber. I was just like, cool, yeah, I've done this before. I know how scary this is. I know what my body wants to do. I'm not going to go there because it might trigger some other people, so I'm just going to be cool. And then I saw you go in there, and I was like, you know what helps me is just put the worry off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry until that door opens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry till I'm sitting on the edge. I'm not going to worry about it until I'm fully out. By the time you're out, you realize oh, I've let go of this thing. I faced the thing I was so worried about, and now it's just happening. And I can just let it go. I literally just have to fall right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's a trustful. I don't want to go skydiving again or anything like that. I took away the lesson that I needed.
I think we both said we wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you have like me. I had a need. I was like, I need to do this. But I think it's a really good metaphor and can be used in so many different places in your life. And the reason I use it with jealousy is because we've pressure tested our relationship that I'm like, yo, we're gonna be together, and okay, my worst fear is that we're not. But do I want to manifest that early by clinging to you with possession and jealousy? No, it's when you're walking out the door, then I'll get scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we're just having a good time or sharing our love or falling in love with, we did with Mare, and it's so beautiful that we could do that. And what am I going to worry that you're going to have some side conversation, that you're going to have the brilliant idea that you want to leave this 10-year relationship? I'm like, I don't want to live in that place. And so it's yeah, maybe I might have somewhere deep down that, but I'm like, I'll just put that off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens is a lot of people don't put their worries off, especially in that, and they're they don't think for 10 seconds that hey, you're probably with your unless you're opening your relationship up because your relationship's fundamentally flawed.
Yeah.
And you're kind of looking for the exit strategy, which I think some people do.
Yeah, and they bring in polyamory as the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, or are you cool enough to handle this? And then you can fail them or whatever, and then just okay, whatever, is this not what?
Oh, there it is.
Or you want to set up your next partner and you don't want to do it while cheating, so I don't know, maybe we're just judging because we don't know. Yeah. Obviously we just talked about that, and we're
oh, we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because I think it's it probably works in a lot of different ways too, putting off your worries and anxieties and stuff. You're let me wait till this bad thing that I'm scared is going to happen actually happens.
Why would I waste this moment being there?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I think and know that moment is going to suck. Why would I make this moment suck in anticipation of that?
Man, I had to do that dance. I've had to do that. You still can get caught. It's at this point, everyone kind of gets the vibe with coronavirus. COVID. It's at the beginning, you were so worried and so scared. And then you're get to a point where you're I'm not gonna spend my life scared.
I'm not scared about it anymore.
I mean, it hits me every once in a while that I'm oh, did we just fuck up?
Oh, by hanging out with some people or whatever.
Yeah, we hang out in the most low risk situations, with one or two homies that also only hang out with one or two homies. But, yeah. You can't help it, but you just you kind of get accustomed to it, and you're okay, this is kind of learn the lesson. You kind of got to go through stuff to learn.
You can vaccinate yourself by slaying your fear.
It is one necessary vaccination.
But you really, you got to be on point to slay that one, because this fear over this pandemic is it's coming in from every angle, and everyone is scared about it. Even the people that try to act too cool for school, this isn't even real or whatever. You're so scared you can't even acknowledge the reality of 500,000 Americans dying over this. That's how scared you are. You're not showing me how brave you are. You're showing me how scared you are. Acknowledge what's going on. It's a fucking demon. and let's
Yeah.
fucking make sure that demon doesn't infect us.
Demon seed.
Yeah, we don't need that demon seed. So, I mean, we indulged all of our fears when it came to coronavirus. We fucking didn't see anybody for months. We were fucking taking our clothes off, taking showers, and washing all of our groceries. We were doing everything we were told to do. We were wearing 2 masks when we went out. Like,
Yeah, when your normal gets so disrupted, as everyone knows, because we've all gone through this, when your normal gets so disrupted, though, that, like, when we found out you don't have to wash the groceries, it was like, oh my God.
oh yeah,
I've never felt so relieved. I
felt
was
like heaven.
I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's almost like all this restriction is allowing us to have like gratitude for the freedom, which I think might be, I definitely hear the arguments that it's, a mode of control and,
Well, we're extremely adaptable,
mm-hmm.
and yeah, it did work as a way of controlling us. Why did the media have a death counter 24/7 sitting there? Like, like you pop on CNN and there's a death toll just sitting there. Like fucking how morbid and gross and obsessive and greedy is that? You're trying to keep people so scared that they stay tuned in. It's fucking gross. It's so gross, and it instills us with such fear. And, the dead giveaway is we have a different president, and they stop doing that. Like, get real. Now we have a different president, and the media's like, all your problems have been solved.
No, I mean, it's such bullshit, but I think it was kind of in response to having a president who didn't want to acknowledge it as a real thing. So it was kind of just, honestly, I don't want to defend CNN because I don't like them and I don't believe in what they're doing. And I totally agree with your point, but maybe my dislike for Trump is stronger sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I get that. And I think a lot of our dislike and discomfort with Trump blinded us to who we really are. And that became who a lot of people were.
It revealed who we are. Like,
Yeah.
It was such an ugly mirror that I was like, oh, God. And I still want to push it away,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still one of those, like, oh, all right, I'll look at you. I'll look at you.
Oh, man. Well, like Ram Dass used to say, like how he would keep a picture of like Richard Nixon on his puja table and like Henry Kissinger. It's great. I didn't go as far as having a picture of Trump around here, but I really did make an effort because it was driving me insane, and it clearly was driving my parents more insane. So I used them as the talisman of like where I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I did not want that guy to control me. There was, especially when he first got elected, there was an omnipresence about him.
Right.
And it was like, okay, if there's going to be this omnipresence of this clown-like figure, I might as well learn how to work with that and learn how to, at least in my life, take that power away from him and just look at him for what he is. He's a clown. That was a fucking clown show, and a lot of people fucking suffered because of it.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the perfect response and distillation of where our society has very evolved to,
but
how we were founded and everything.
Oh, absolutely, exactly. And for me to pretend as a white boy in Brooklyn who gets to live his life making art that Trump is affecting me or taking me down in some way, like, hell no. I'm not giving him or anyone that power.
He does, though, because he affects the people you love and care about. Like,
yeah.
It does. Like,
yeah.
That's why these politicians are so fucking important. And that's why it's, as we know, unfortunate that they actually don't really work for us.
No, they all work for the same corporations. It's disgusting. I could do many podcasts about it, but like I honestly have found it's become boring to me.
Yeah.
Because I did that dance and I played that game, and I was very interested in all the chess moves that the politicians were making and paying attention to that and having an awareness of it. And like now it seems boring because I understand their game so well.
Yeah.
That the whole fucking thing is it's like professional wrestling. You know?
Oh, do you want to make your living feasting off critiquing it, or do you want to just be the thing that you stand in opposition to?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's I think we're just such somehow performance artists, even though like our art is trying to be as like genuine to who we are as possible.
You and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is at times like wanting to like have our perspective heard about what's going on, but I hear you in that it's like, whew, that was an opportunity to just like inside job shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like everything. It was an opportunity for personal growth. It was an opportunity for this country to see what we're really all about. And it's a shame that mainly liberals just did not use Trump as an opportunity to see what this place really is and what we're really about. Because I think that Trump had the opportunity to radicalize a lot more people towards compassion just by showing how uncompassionate he was, and it just didn't go there. They just instead want to fight his fight with him. And that's how you end up giving him that's how you end up giving him more power. Like, even by responding, even by having a fucking strong opinion about this motherfucker beyond, like, he's a fucking clown. He's a clown, and he'll use anything to fucking get that attention.
Yeah, we're watching we watched like the first episode of the QAnon doc. I think we got the picture in a lot of ways.
Yeah, of course it has to be like a 4-hour fucking commandeering of your life, and just like, we saw the writing on the wall right away as soon as we turned that thing on. Like, oh, they really want us to pay attention to this for 4 hours and make us paranoid about fellow Americans, as opposed to talking about what made these people susceptible to these types of beliefs.
Well, I'm sure they get more into that as
They
as
just
it
wanted
goes
to make
on.
everybody look like a fucking fool.
Well, yeah, I mean, when they tell you the things that, I mean, not one thing convinced me about the validity or veracity of the Q as a true source. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, this is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
it just goes to this place of people are going to believe what they want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something also kind of beautiful because I kind of, for the first time, could see their love of Trump as, I mean, I have seen this before, but kind of really somehow believing that he's going to take down a system that I also want to get taken down.
There you go. That's compassion.
And I kind of know that, like, because people are like, oh, he's going to drain the swamp, but I couldn't get past being so pissed off that I'm like, he's filling the swamp. How do you not see it?
Yeah, I know. Well, but that's when you just have to have compassion for them, because it's like,
we want the same thing.
they weren't educated to be critical thinkers. It's a fucking fluke that we're able to do that.
Barely.
We're barely able to do it.
Barely.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it breaks my heart to see the opportunity for a film where, you have subjects that are saying, we voted for Obama twice, and then we voted for Trump. And they don't even go into, for 2 seconds, the conditions, the failure of the Obama administration and the Democrats to do anything for real people. And that's what made people go so radically the other direction, to the point where they're lost in conspiracy theory, which to me is just a layer of consciousness.
I mean, they are, and that's them being critical thinkers, because they're like, they're like, this is wrong. Like, we
Yeah.
need to look deeper into it. But yeah, it is kind of an indictment on our system that, like, okay, but like, why flat Earth when we could actually get together and believe something that changes something? But then there's also, it's so perfect. It's everything so perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that whole, the Q movement, the QAnon and Blue Anon. The Blue Anon is all the same. It's the same thing, but it's for the other side, and it's Russiagate, and it's Putin, and it's, Edward Snowden, like, Julian Assange is a bad guy, trust me, the so-called left has,
where the Democrats are saying the CIA is the best institution
Yeah, all of a
ever,
sudden-
and
yeah.
you're like, wait, what happened?
all of a sudden Democrats are like pro-war, all for corporations, against $15 minimum wage, against Medicare for all. It's like, y'all are fucking, either way, either side, the Q movement and the Blue movement, they're meant to keep your frequency low. They're meant to keep your frequency in the paradigm where you're paranoid about your neighbors. That's it. It's meant to do that because that keeps the systems and the powers that be.
Well, that's what gets so frustrating is you want to like be against something, but you end up just being a shill, like just a pawn.
Yeah.
You know, we're all so wrapped up as these pawns, and so like all you have to do is like, I mean, I don't know what you have to do. You tell me what you have to do, but I think it's when you can have an awareness of the game, you know, awareness of the ridiculous nature of this reality, and that you couldn't really possibly know exactly why everything happens the way it does and what it serves, and
yeah.
That's why I think we like to believe what Martin Luther King said was like the arc of history is long and it bends towards justice, which I like to believe. I do believe.
Yeah, I have faith.
I believe in karma.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think people are living their own karma in every moment, even if they seem really like happy.
We're living our karma as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyone could have told you that. Anyone with any sense of history or karma could tell you that America has long had some shadow work to do, and that when you avoid it and you don't do it, all that fucking nastiness and nonsense comes to the surface and it fucking crystallizes your destiny.
Do you believe we're in the midst of the fall of the American Empire?
Hell yeah. In our whole lifetime has been that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't have to be that way.
Because it's like there's a shiny veneer, but
the veneer's not so shiny anymore.
It's not so shiny anymore.
And, you know, and that false sense of American exceptionalism and American innocence that keeps this whole thing going and keeps people patriotic and xenophobic. I feel like the people that are invested in keeping those things going are going to be sharpening their tools because the veneer is going away, and it's pretty clear to anybody who's paying attention, like, the American dream is a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Trying to live your life for upward mobility, trying to live your life in competition with your fellow humans, you know, trying to get yours.
Well, and upward mobility becomes less and less of a thing to achieve.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It wasn't always impossible. It's
no, that's what I'm saying. Now. We blew it.
We blew it.
Yeah. Yeah,
we blew it.
We blew it. We blew it.
We blew it.
You blew it.
You blew it.
We blew it.
You blew it. We had this song. We were singing this song. You blew it. And it was so brilliant. And then things in our life started to happen where we were blowing it. And we had to change the lyrics to...
We blew it.
We blew it. I mean, isn't that kind of how it happened?
Yeah.
We were talking about, he blew it, you know. He had a great girlfriend, and then he blew it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we blew it. And
yeah,
it was like,
talk
shit.
about karma.
I know.
You know, you indulge your judgment. Mm-hmm. You indulge that lizard brain. And then all of a sudden, you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, you're not the one with the last laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, never. Never. We ain't getting away with shit down here.
That's why I try to just always be laughing, because I know it's not my last laugh, so you might as well enjoy the laughs while you have them.
Yes. Get while the getting's good.
Get while the getting's good.
Yeah.
You have a funny time while you can. Mm-hmm. Use your legs.
No matter who's the fucking president.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, Joe Biden makes me laugh more than Trump, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
He's got more...
He's our funniest president yet.
Yeah, talk about a gaffe machine.
God, did you see when he fell down the stairs? Like, he couldn't get up the stairs of Air Force One. He fell 3 times. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, some of his blunders are just unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah, he blundered. He is he's like the last example of the American dream. This is a guy who just failed upwards his whole life.
Yeah.
He was just fucking never effective or good at anything. He fucking ran for president 3 times before this. He had to drop out for all kinds of dumb reasons. He plagiarized people's speeches. Like, he doesn't stand for anything.
Oh my
He's
god.
such a fucking joke. He sniffs little girls' hair. He's fucking probably a rapist. Like,
Stop. Who knows? We don't know.
I,
You don't know that.
okay.
That has not even been accused.
What are you talking about?
Has he been accused of that?
Yeah, yeah. He got very credibly accused during the primary.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, everyone who said the very dangerous thing to begin with, believe all women, weren't believing all women.
It's very true.
What the
That's
fuck?
why these
What are we
blanket statements are
doing?
stupid.
Yeah, come on.
But for real, believe all women. No, I'm just kidding.
Andrew Cuomo, our governor here in New York,
I'm just kidding.
when he was powerful and he was on CNN every day and everyone thought he was the savior, he was killing tens of thousands of old people willingly,
That's
and
what
he
I'm
was
saying.
lying
We don't know what
about
the
it.
fuck is going
He
on.
was lying about it, and he was making sure that marijuana wouldn't be legalized here, even though he fucking ran on it.
Yo,
This guy is a corrupt piece of shit, and the only traction that got going in getting this motherfucker to resign, even after this scandal where he killed all these old people, was him being accused by a dozen women of fucking sexual misconduct.
crazy.
That can't be the only reason we hold people accountable.
Yeah.
It can't be. It just can't be. Like, we can't go down that path. It's so dangerous.
Well, because everyone's doing the other stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's so corrupt, so it's like.
Yeah. Exactly. I
But
was like, I'm a good guy. I haven't assaulted anybody.
but it has worked in our favor.
What? Well, now the guy has no fucking power. He refuses to resign, this fucking piece of shit. He refuses to resign, even though he has so much blood on his hands. And that he has no power, that the Democrats were able to kind of force his hand on a what looks like a pretty progressive marijuana legalization bill. From what I read, it looks like the most progressive one of all 15 states that have legalized.
Which is what we needed, and we just should have done it sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should have been done sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Like 50 years ago sooner. 100 years ago sooner.
Cannabis legalization is a very important thing.
But are you looking forward to our podcast having 6 marijuana plants as our background?
Yeah, we're allowed to grow I think each household is allowed to grow. If each individual is allowed to grow 6 plants, we're going to have 12 plants. But I do look forward to that, and I look forward to there's going to be consumption sites. So we can make Church of Chill a real thing, that like the vibe is high and tight all the time. You come in here and you smoke, there's going to be good music playing, there's going to be good homies hanging out. We're going to be playing games, we're going to be writing music, we're going to be making art, we're going to be painting. You know, we're going to be getting to know each other. We'll be doing podcasts, live performances, like a real vibe.
Honestly, if more nightlife stuff was like that, I'd leave the house more.
We would go out every night if a place like this existed.
I know, so it's very exciting.
I can go down and play chess with someone at the Church of Chill and get turned on to a whole bunch of music and smoke a joint like Bob Marley. Come on.
I've just got so excited. I almost don't even know if I can.
I'm
contain
telling you,
myself.
Church of Chill is going to be a real place. It's going to be a consumption site, and we'll do many of them. We'll do them in all the states. We'll do them in all the states that are legal.
Yeah, and they'll be like, each person will have like a local hub that gets, that brings the local flavor to it.
Yeah, and what's great for us is like, I don't know if we want to be involved with like all the legalities of selling this stuff, and you know.
No, we just do it behind the back.
All we're selling is a vibe. Yeah, we sell it.
We
on
have
the
a
DL.
16-year-old
We have
who
some
gives
kid.
us a cut. You
Yeah,
know.
we have some kid that gives us like $10 off every eighth that he sells. But that's side business. I'm just saying, on the official, we would just be selling a vibe. Just there's a good vibe in here, and that's why people come here.
I mean, isn't that why people go to certain bars, because the vibe is better or whatever?
Isn't that why people go to church? That's what I'm saying. We could start to fucking bring it all together.
Bringing it all together.
But we needed cannabis to be legalized so we can do this legit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that cannabis legalization, even though it's becoming like a thing that's happening everywhere, is very important, because we'll see as time goes on how much of a values changing drug that is. And when when alcohol is the only place that people can turn, that's a values changing drug too. But the values it changes is you don't give a fuck about your values anymore.
Yo, sometimes people come over here and they're like, oh, thank God. Like, I don't have to drink. That's not the scene here.
Yeah.
And then we see them every Sunday night or whatever, you know, because it's like, this is an alternative energy, alternative vibe that is underrepresented
for a reason. But with legalization, especially with opening of consumption sites, we're going to be able to network better. We're going to be able to see who the other people are. Potheads aren't going to have to be so isolated and paranoid.
Yeah. And it feels like there's like a saturation right now of like art and products that are around the awakened state. And there's a moment where I'm like, oh, is everything just getting commodified and commercialized? And then there's a side of me that's like, we live in capitalism. This is a commodity and of universe. Don't you want to see rainbow mushrooms and trees and fairies and little sayings about how you need to, time is an illusion? Like, don't you want every person you walk past on the street to have a shirt that says time is an illusion?
Little reminders all over the place.
Like, it's so, as much as you can like have a moment of like, oh shit, like everybody's in on it, you're like, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about time.
Yeah. Because then we could take the next step collectively. And who knows what that is. I think this is us really first a big leap towards achieving alienhood as a species. For sure.
Us getting high all the time.
Yeah. Getting high, getting
The aliens love it.
The aliens love it.
They love weed. They can come to you and
yeah. We had a group abduction over here last night.
Your rogue signal.
We all got abducted last night. That was fucking crazy. Imagine being able to do that with a bunch of strangers who wandered into your church. Let's get abducted together. Let's call on the aliens. Let's all smoke together in this certain way, and we'll say this chant.
Yeah, and you can have certain rooms that are like, oh, you're getting high in the 60s.
Yeah.
You're getting high in the 70s.
Yeah.
Or themes.
Oh, that definitely. I think we should make a hotbox time machine.
Yeah.
Where like, you go into this room and like you're straight up like everything in there is from the summer of 1967.
Yeah.
The music, the people are dressed a certain way, the posters, what's being played on the TV or the radio in there, and then we could have one for the 70s, we could do one for the 80s, the 90s, and not only that, but like the way they smoked at that time, the certain devices or whatever. And then by the time you get to the present day, there's like, vaporizers and all that technology, and then we could have a future room. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Hotbox time machine. Church of Chill.
Heard it here first.
You heard it here first. We're feeling inspired.
Oh my God, yeah.
We're totally feeling inspired. We need people to invest money, and we need to go make money.
Yeah.
But
send your rich uncle our way.
Yeah.
Your
please.
angel investor rich uncle who wants to see the Church of Chill come to life.
Yeah, I think we could make your rich uncle more rich.
I think so too.
Yeah. Support us on patreon.com/churchofchill. That's our main way of connecting with people these days and growing the community, right? We're playing the best tunes on there.
Always a fun time.
Yeah, just having a lot of fun. Having smoke sessions with people, making new friends. This new art exchange is really inspiring, seeing people send songs and paintings and sculptures to each other. It's awesome.
Yeah, and when Church of Chill is all over, you want to be an OG member because it will come with perks.
Yeah,
I'm just joking
being
around,
there, being a fucking helping us make this thing brick by brick, like that's gonna come with benefits. I feel like
I definitely
it's gonna be like being in on Microsoft, like from day one.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be the cool version of that.
And it's a different type of exchange,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm so inspired by everyone that feels like we're co-creating.
Yeah.
What's to come? So I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for doing this podcast with me.
Yeah, thank you.
We have such a funny life.
Yeah. Let's go have a funny time while it's still daylight.
Absolutely. Peace, love, and magic,
Peace and
y'all.
love.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop whoop.